In the modern world, we are surrounded by chemicals and toxins, and these can profoundly impact our health and our well-being. So the air we breathe, our clothes, our cleaning supplies, our makeup, our laundry products, our kitchen, our bedroom, the list goes on. The widespread use of synthetic chemicals in everyday products makes avoiding exposure almost impossible. But there are some simple steps that you can take to seriously reduce the levels of toxins that we have in our bodies and in our home environment. When evaluating the safety of chemicals and toxins, existing exposure standards often fall short. So these are government standards which focus on determining the level of exposure that's considered safe for the average person. However, these standards do not consider the cumulative effects of exposure to lots of different types of toxins over a long period of time. So they're honestly completely inadequate. They're not capturing a proper picture of what we're being exposed to. Furthermore, exposure standards are usually based on data from animal testing and epidemiological studies and in vitro cell culture studies. And animal testing, for example, involves administering increasing doses of a single chemical to laboratory animals until a lethal dose is reached. And this, then, they use to determine what would be an acceptable level for the average person. Epidemiological studies, this investigates disease in human populations, but they often require waiting for diseases to start to manifest in the population before they can start to figure out what might be causing it. So this leaves all of us just being guinea pigs, essentially, as we figure out what are the things that we're already consuming which are probably causing cancer. For example, epidemiological studies investigate disease in human populations, but this often requires for diseases to start manifesting in a population before they start figuring out what might be causing these diseases. So this just makes the population into one big guinea pig experiment to figure out what are the things that we have in our environment which are doing us harm. Exposure to toxins and chemicals can have a wide range of health impacts. Everything from minor skin irritations to more serious conditions such as cancer and developmental disorders. And there's always a whole lot of reproductive problems that come along with these chemicals too. Certain populations, such as children, pregnant women, the elderly, they're particularly vulnerable to the effects of these toxins due to their either developing or weakened immune systems. Children in particular are at a higher risk of harm from exposure as their bodies are still in a developmental stage and they tend to consume and absorb more of these chemicals relative to their body weight when compared to adults. Furthermore, the effects of exposure and toxins during pregnancy can have some seriously lasting effects on both the health of the mom and the unborn child. So the important thing is to not be overwhelmed and panic. Everyone goes through this journey and we all start at the same point. We've all been there. I recommend starting with a gradual transition and viewing this as a slower long-term process and honestly a lifelong journey towards better health. It's not just a simple switch this product out and we're done. There's a little bit more to it. So this process should be ongoing with regular reviews every month or so just to steadily decrease your exposure. So small changes are key. The most important thing is just getting started. Each step that you take in that positive direction fuels more steps in that positive direction. And every step that you take is lowering your exposure. And the good news is that consumer demand for healthier products has led so many brands to start offering safer solutions. And remember, reducing your chemical exposure is a personal thing. Everyone sees this differently. Some people are going to want to jump in and throw out all their products that have any kind of toxic ingredient in it. Others are going to take a more gradual approach. You've just got to do what fits for you and your lifestyle. Tackling toxins and chemicals in the home honestly might seem daunting, but it's absolutely doable with a clear plan. And in this module, we're going to educate you on how to reduce toxins and contaminants in your home. We're going to have video lessons alongside a whole bunch of downloads, different things like recipes for toxin-free items, a whole lot of product recommendations, things that have been thoroughly researched and tested. When going through this course, ensure you leverage some of the tools that we're going to talk about, like the EWG app, the Think Dirty app, and the Chemical Maze apps. These are great things that we're going to go through in more detail later that can really help you along this journey. And we're here to help throughout this journey too. If you have any questions or you need more details about anything, just reach out. We are so happy to help. Our goal here is to make this as easy as possible. So let's embark on this journey together. In the next lesson, we're going to give you an overview as to exactly what we're going to be covering throughout this module.